ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to come back here and also to say how impressed I am with the previous panel. The points that have been brought up in the discussion is not just a single-dimensional approach, but really it's multi-dimensional approach. And the way we can make cities smart or smart cities even smarter is through this approach. And HP, we are an advocate of collaboration, and that's why the partnership model and innovation model is something that we look for. Of course, in terms of technology, that's our main contribution. And today, when I was preparing this local empowerment and accountability innovations in governance, I was thinking, what should I focus on? And the best way of focusing on is actually to show references. References not just within India, but also outside of India, because it's where that collaboration among different stakeholders in other cities, in other national boundaries, where innovation can take place, sharing of ideas. But at the end of the day, it cannot be a one-size-fits-all approach. It's got to be maybe a template, take it, tailor it, and customize whatever we need to the local needs. Right? So that's the basis for the presentation today. So cities will be powered by a new style of IT. IT, in this case, is not just technology products. It's not about smartphones. It's not about servers or storage or networking or software. It's a new style of IT because the way IT is to be implemented has to take a different form and shape in collaboration with the various stakeholders. Back to the point, we talked about some of the needs of the citizen and business. They are the center of everything that we do. And in HP, we believe that we have to make the city livable, new economy ready, connected. We encourage superior government services because the government is the one that pulls everything together. It must be agile and resilient, and also there must be collaborative innovation along the way. And some of these can take place through technologies, but most of them actually through innovation, collaboration, partnership, regulatory policies. So let's take a look at our experiences, and this is just for sharing. So when we gathered every single experience we have or any project around the world that's got to do with smart city, we came up with this, right? Service delivery to citizens and businesses would be one category, and it's delivered to various vertical industries or various vertical, sub-verticals in the public sector: transportation, public safety and justice, health and human, education, finance, administration, as well as other government services. These are so when we have EV and energy, voltage, CCTV, these are actual references that we have, right? And they are also references in the areas of operations management and strategy cross-agency, cross-tier initiatives. And yet, what we have done is to put everything into a framework. At the same time, we can put everything in modules, because that's what a smart city would be. I think the only place where maybe we can put everything in one go could be in a green field. But by and large, most of the opportunities in smart city is in the brown field, at least in India. And that's why while we have a framework, we have to make it modular. And that framework serves as also a roadmap in collaboration with our different key stakeholders to go towards. And in India, I like it very much. I've done smart city projects across the region, okay, also sharing with my counterparts in Europe and in America. And one thing is very, very big critical success factor, and that is there must be a vision. A vision brings everybody together. So when you have a vision of 100 smart cities, everybody galvanized towards that vision of 100 smart cities. And then there must be a plan to get there. And it doesn't have to start big bang, right? In fact, most of the time those big bang are risky, and most of the time they do not succeed. What we have found to be successful in all the references that we have is we go address an acute need first. It could be healthcare, it could be an emergency. So I was in New Zealand recently, and they had a very, very acute case where cyclists were cycling and cars came and knocked them down, and then the cars went off, right? And they don't know how, they can't catch the driver. So that became an acute need, and right now we are working very closely with the city government there. I think you will hear more about them in time to come. I personally took charge of a smart city case in China. There was a major earthquake in 2008. 80,000 people died. They had to rebuild the thing. Again, there was an acute need, and we started from there. And the same methodology can be transposed here. So, in order to align to the topic of how we can empower local governance, I picked some of these cases in which this can be demonstrated, where our city initiatives have enabled local enablement and accountability, basically more transparency. So these are the cases, and I deliberately put them cases from outside of India. Actually, within India, my colleagues are sitting there. They can tell you that we do have a number of smart city projects within India that we can share the experience of. But being a regional person, I thought maybe going out of India would be a better value that I can bring to this forum. So in the county of Norfolk in UK, we actually recently won an award there in conjunction with the city. And what's common across these 6 reference cases are there are citizen-centric aim. Okay, we put the citizen at the center of everything. The citizen could be a patient, the citizen could be a commuter, the citizen could be somebody who lives in a house, but we put the person's needs there. It could also be a business that wants to employ care workers, for example. So this is the selected cases. I'll talk more about Anaheim and maybe Anaheim in California. The Flemish government also had an interaction portal where they are able to interact, maybe you call it a G2C in some cases, a government to consumer portal where views can be interacted with. Okay. In Barcelona, there's a government portal, not only just for government, within the government, different government agencies, but also with the citizen. Tokyo and Kashiwanaha in Japan, I'm quite familiar with that. In fact, I just came back from there about a month back. After the Fukushima earthquake, again there was an acute need there. The Japanese decided that they can no longer use nuclear power, and therefore there was an acute shortage of power, and they had to make the city there more smart in terms of getting electricity the traditional way. Means less wastage, more efficiencies. And then we formed a consortium in 2009, and from there we had a lot of learnings. And that's why when I came up earlier on to talk about partnership models, talk about business models, it's a lot from these learnings in Japan. I'll play a video later on about Paraguay in Latin America. This is actually towards alleviating poverty in Paraguay. And that's also a form of empowerment. You think about alleviating poverty. Okay, let's talk about the city of Anaheim. Any of you have been to Anaheim? Okay, what's famous in Anaheim? Convention Center. It's also quite, I believe it's quite close to Disneyland. Yeah. So I like that. I went there as a kid. But of course, I never really looked at the city closely until I joined HP and discovered we have done many things there over the course of a few years. So it's not a one-time project. It's actually a roadmap. We have a goal, shared goal with the city together with our partners. And these partners are not just technology partners, but they're real estate developers. And we decided that we'll go in there. Once we've got the basic infrastructure and platform, things can be added. So back to my earlier statement, there is a framework, but the framework encompasses the different modules. Okay, just a little bit about the city of Anaheim. We work together with the authorities there, the government, on what we call the Enterprise Virtual Operation centered, or EVOC for short. And these are the benefits that we have. It's actually an end-to-end solution to improve government services delivered to their citizens and thereby make them more transparent, accessible, and one word I didn't put in there is accountable. At the same time, there were also savings that were generated. So what this comprised of was a single point console, just one single point console, and I will go through that later, to see whatever's happening in the city. So in terms of city operations, it's no longer disparate systems, and because everything can be seen in one console, it makes management, monitoring and operations a lot easier. So for those who are not familiar with IT technology, it's okay. When we say about structured and unstructured data, what we mean is data that's generated from media such as emails, ERP, enterprise resource, and all your HR systems. And unstructured refers to data related to, for example, your video surveillance cameras, your movies, maybe your pictures. Those are unstructured data. The platform is scalable, at the same time modular. So you don't want to have one big bang, you make it modular, but you also know that it all fits, the puzzles all fit together. We have the ability to monitor usage of municipal resources. Again, that means transparency, that means that we don't have any wastage. Last but not least, and that's where the citizen-centered approach comes in. There's anytime, anywhere access to mobile phones or to internet in terms of a portal. That means the citizen can actually be here in India and be able to see what's happening to his home, the bills and so on, through one single point of contact. And the application developed was the MyEVOC and MyNLM mobile applications. Forget about the services below, but just take it that we work together with the government to deliver these services. So here in EVOC, we see a single console where a digital map of the city is already mapped in, and there are general information that you can see here. So in one console, you can actually also see linkage to the Homeland Security. What this means is that one single point of contact, you have a universal view of everything that's required to know about what's happening in the city. Here is an example of them monitoring an incident. So just now one of the speakers mentioned about somebody getting knocked down, right? For example, getting knocked down. Immediately, because of the sensors are all connected to this platform, we can call up a camera shot of that place, zoom into where it is, know where the monitoring resources are, select the camera and view and see where those things. And the best of all is that these are actually linked to other applications, whether it's the hospital or the fire engine, and all this can then be directed to them. In the past, what they did was everybody had their own system, okay? But this system went off more quickly than the others, and the other functional departments, whether police, they said, look, why don't I just leverage what you have done, and then we can add our application into it. And that's exactly what took place. So it started off from here, and today, across Asia Pacific, Japan are taking this same approach and replicating them in various parts of Asia Pacific, Japan. And we are looking for collaboration partners to also see how we can do it in India. There's integration of business functions, so one single point of view, you can have the application, the emergencies itself, the application from the police, from the fire, and of course integration to the video cameras as well as some of the smart sensors to monitor air pollution, traffic jams and so on. The next phase, what they did with the same platform was to manage electricity supply. Same platform, you don't really have to build everything from scratch. So with management of electricity supply, if there is electricity leakage somewhere, what can happen is that this thing will pop up because the digital map is already there. It pops up and the green dots indicate where there are incidents related to electricity supply. And at the end of the month or on a periodic basis, reports are generated so the city knows Okay, in terms of municipal resources usage, how has it been? They set themselves a maximum threshold for these resources, track it, and because they track it, they have visibility of what's happening. They can make decisions around how to improve the operations further. Last but not least, they make this accessible to the citizen. So we've got something called My NIM, Citizen Business Portal. And so anytime, anywhere, we can get in and check for information pertinent to the citizen, you know. Because all the data is all there. Okay? And because all the data is there, now we're doing things like data analytics, getting demographic patterns of usage and lowering the cost. All because we started off with one acute need, and that was the cameras to monitor traffic conditions, and then we grew from there. Now, I'd like to play a video of Foundation Paraguay. They say that a picture speaks 1,000 words, but moving pictures, videos speak 1,000,000 words. So let me just play the video and you can hear what they say. And this is another example of the approach that we have taken. Is the song?
Changing the way we live and work. They offer us the potential to be entertained, fascinated, educated, and effective. What apps have given us is the ability to interact with people and organizations in brand new ways. Anytime, anywhere, on any device. HP developed the Visual Survey Platform app to help organizations gather a wide range of information in a fast and intuitive way, integrating pictures, geotagging, and analytics into an easy-to-use, yet highly functional app that works on multiple devices. It can be applied to a diverse range of use cases, from reporting bad road conditions to identifying the type of luggage you lost at the airport. In Paraguay, the HP Visual Survey Platform app is making a real difference in many people's lives.
Foundation Paraguay is a social enterprise based in Paraguay in South America. And the objective is to find and develop methodologies to eliminate poverty in Paraguay and around the world. Technology assists us in developing plans so that families can identify their level of poverty. Instead of having a typical survey, with technology, people can identify and choose among different photographs to choose the condition that represents them. So for example, with water, you would have 3 photographs, each one representing critical, a poor, and a non-poor condition. Working with Hewlett-Packard has been fortunate for us because before they came on board, we used paper and clipboards and notebooks. We had our social workers go into the slums, and it would take so much time. In fact, when the technology appeared, we discovered that we could help a family identify their own level of poverty in 20 minutes. Before, it used to take 3 hours. Once the loan officer or the social worker finishes the 20-minute survey, it can push a button and that can go to a server, and the server will analyze it and will compare it to other people in the village. And so you will have a family heat map and a village heat map and a region heat map. So you can see how different families are affected by different types of poverty at the same time in the same region.
A key feature of the Visual Survey Platform app is its ability to work with structured and unstructured data and combine this with digital images and geotagging.
So in a matter of a week, you can canvass a village and you can see who needs help with eyesight, who needs help with income, who needs help with sewage, who needs help with vaccines, and it's very, very easy. So basically, the Hewlett-Packard technology allows us to gather the data analyze the data, and to farm out the solutions to more than 30 government agencies, each one of which are doing their own little part. Because every family is poor in their own way, the solution can be tailored to the minute detail for the benefit of each family. The visual survey platform that Hewlett-Packard developed for us is making a huge difference in allowing us to reach the people that we want to reach. For us, working with Hewlett-Packard has been a tremendous opportunity, because with our own resources and with our lack of knowledge in this area, we would have never been able to develop this technology and this methodology.
So heat technology is just one part of the thing. What we didn't say is what the business model was, because obviously somebody has to fund it, and this is actually a fully funded project. We just have to think, first and foremost, the main goal is what was the need. Okay, the need was poverty alleviation. Before you can alleviate poverty, you must know what's the poverty situation, and who is the poor, who is not the poor, and what the specific needs are. And then, but just take it from me that it's just more than technology. There's also the business process services model that I earlier mentioned. So how does this smart city journey take place? I think we are just beginning to touch the tip of the iceberg, because to get everything in one console, to get to the place where you saw how Foundation Paraguay, it didn't just take overnight. I mean, all the different integrations are complex. So we have got some methodologies that we use, but at the same time are improving with each project that we do around the world. And one of the value proposition that we are bringing to the table is to get different cities, even villages, across the world together to share best practices. This is something that as a multinational company that we can do, and actually we have a initiative that's coming up that my colleagues and I will be sharing with the key stakeholders in India. It starts off with the citizen and the business at the center of everything we do. So if you look at the Anaheim Virtual Operation Center, it started from who the business user is, who's the government policy maker, what does he want to see, starts from there. And then behind the scenes, the engineering that takes place, okay, that's something that we will work together with our consultants and our partners to engineer. So it's about city transformation. So transformation is not just about technology, there's the business, there's the surveys, there's the innovation and operational innovations that have to take place. And just take it from me that we've got the different products and services that go with it. You know, that's actually the simple part. The challenging part is how do we bring all this together. So we offer a complete portfolio. And one of the things that we have sort of figured out, besides the technologies, we do cloud and data center, we've got storage, we've got all sorts of software in there, is the financing part. I think we talk a lot about financing. So we've also got a financing arm working with our partners, the banks, World Bank, Asia Development Bank. We bring all these together because it's not just one company, it's actually an ecosystem of partners to bring this about. And this has been our experience, and this is my last slide, and this has been our experience in terms of a smart city journey. It's a journey, right? It's not a one-time event. We take it and we go. In fact, we've also got some ideas about this event, how we take it forward, just capitalizing on the last speaker earlier on, how we can bring forward this. Otherwise, an event will be, okay, everybody's happy, end of the day, we just go off. Maybe next year we come together and say, hey, look, I met you at the last event, how are you? And nothing gets done, right? So it is a journey. It's also about partnership. How do we partner the government? So and other key stakeholders or partners there. So with Anaheim Paraguay Foundation, it was a partnership, and it still continues to be one. So the guy who He held up the HP products. We didn't pay him. He's not an actor, right? He's actually the founder and CEO. He was very, very passionate about the partnership because he believes that that is the way for him to go and for the others to go. So it starts off with a case for change. I mentioned about New Zealand, somebody got knocked down and people get hurt. You know, what really triggered it was somebody got killed. Right? And we don't have to wait for somebody to be killed before we have a case for change. We come in together, our partners with the government authorities, then decide, okay, what's the business case around here? Because money has to be spent, resources have to be utilized. What is the business case? What is the prioritization? And what is the goal that we are going in? Taking the same framework that I shared about to make sure that it doesn't become a disparate silo solution, but it's a module that fits into the overall framework so that we can add more modules later on. We select and prioritize what the projects are. Now this number 3, assessing and selling the initiatives, is not selling the solution, it's selling to the key stakeholders. In some cases, we have to sell to the villagers. Why do you need to have this system? How does it improve your life? Okay, what's the benefit? We have to sell to maybe the real estate developer why they should build the thing this way. But it's always in collaboration with the relevant government authorities. We implement it. Somebody mentioned about implementation at some point in time. I think the data analysis phase has to